Hello everyone, this is a quick tutorial on how to use Eclipse to develop Java programs. First of all, what is Eclipse? Eclipse is really just a program. It's free to download, and the type of program is it's an IDE, or specifically a Java IDE. Now, what is an IDE? Well, IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and its purpose is to make programming easier. There are IDEs for different languages, but Eclipse is an IDE for Java. Now, what does integrated mean? Integrated means that the program includes everything that you need in order to write, compile, run, and debug your program. So you could actually develop a Java program without Eclipse or an IDE, but it would be much more cumbersome and difficult because you would need to actually manually use an editor in order to um, write your code. Then you would need to manually compile that code and then manually run that code and debug it. So really, Eclipse, or IDEs for that matter, are intended to make the programmer's life much easier. For purposes of this class, all of your programs are going to be developed using Eclipse. So let's get started. When you launch Eclipse, you'll see a screen similar to this. And the first step that you need to take in creating a Java program is to first create a Java project. And you do that by selecting this File, New, Java Project, and you will see a dialog like this. A project is really nothing more than a way to organize your program. So it's kind of like a file cabinet, for example. Let's say you're developing a Pokemon game, and Pokemon includes many characters. So each character might be represented as its own class. But all of these characters are part of Pokemon. So in this case, they would be organized under a project name, probably called something like Pokemon. For purposes of this demonstration, my project name is going to be called Demo, and this is because I'm going to be creating classes that are related to demonstrations that I'm going to be doing in the future. So click Finish. Now we have our empty project called Demo. The next step is to create one or more Java classes. But before we go into doing that, recall that a class is the basic foundation of all Java programs. So a Java program contains one or more classes. So in order to create a class, select File, New, Java Class. And in here you're going to see a dialog similar to this. And you will need to specify the class name. In my case, my class name is going to be called my first class. And typically you'll leave all the default settings. However, there is one setting that is important to note, and that is this one, public static void main. By selecting this checkbox, what's going to happen is a special purpose method called main is going to be generated in your class definition. So let's go ahead and click Finish. And here we see that our class has been generated by Eclipse. There are several things I want you to notice. The first one being there is this package statement, and it has the name Demo. Remember, the very first step was to create a Java project, and I gave my Java project the name Demo. The second thing to notice is that the class definition was generated with the name that I had specified, in my case, my first class. And by selecting that checkbox, it also created an empty main method for my class. Now, the purpose of a main method is it tells Java where your program is going to begin. Not all Java classes will have a main method. However, a Java program is going to require at least one class that does have a main method. And again, the reason is because Java needs to have a main method in order to know where to begin execution of the Java program. So at this point, we do have a complete Java class, and it has a main method. However, it doesn't do anything. So if we were to run this, we saw that it ran, but it didn't do anything. So let's just add a simple uh, command to print out something to the console. Now, if we were to run this, this is just telling me that I didn't save my class. So I'm going to say OK to save it. Now we see that this program prints hello there to the console. Remember how I said that not all Java classes will include a main? Let's show how that would work. So let's change this header definition and get rid of the main, and let's call this thing print hello. Let's save it. Now if I were to try to run this, you'll see that it can't run because the main method is missing. So what we do is, let's put the main method back. And in order to call this method, which is called print hello, we would put that as a statement. Let's save it and let's run it. So just as we saw before, hello there is printed to the console. I want to point out a couple of concepts here. So just for a minute, let's take out everything. And now we have a class definition which is valid. This class definition will compile, but obviously it will not do anything. So what we have here is a class called my first class, and it has an empty body. The left and right brackets represent the body of the class, and as of this point it is empty. So let's suppose we've now defined this class to look like this. At this point, this class has one function called print hello. This is the function header. The function name is called print hello, and it too has a body. As you can see, there is a left and a right bracket, and everything in between is the body. In this case, the body contains only one statement, and statements are always terminated with a semicolon. This too is a valid class definition, but because it's missing the main method, it's not going to run. If we were to try to run this, we would get an error. Which indicates that the main method is missing. So let's put the main method back in. And the main method is also a method, and this is its header. And this is required in order for Java to be able to execute this program. So this main method just simply calls this other method. And we can run it again. And just as we saw before, it prints hello. Okay, let's summarize what we learned from this tutorial. First, we talked about Eclipse. Eclipse is just a program called an IDE that makes writing, compiling, running, and debugging Java programs easier. What is a Java class? A Java class is the basic foundation for all Java programs. A Java program requires one or more classes, typically many classes. A main method is a special method that tells Java where the program starts in order for it to run. Not all Java classes have a main method, but Java requires at least one class that does have a main method. And again, this is so that the program can begin execution. Now, you may wonder under what circumstances would a class not have a main method? We will cover that in later sessions, but for now, when writing your programs, make sure that you include a main method in your class definitions.